Hello everyone, my name's Leah, also known as Wellness Medic, and I'm a current 4th year medical student from the University of Sheffield. So today what I thought we'd do is go through my personal statement that I created back in 2017 that got me all 4 offers for medical school. I just thought this would be a really good opportunity to read through, embarrass myself a lot, and also hopefully give you guys some tips and tricks for writing your personal statement, and hopefully just make the whole experience that little bit easier. Okay, so I've got my personal statement here, and whilst I've had a brief look at this in the past when I've sent it to aspiring medics, I haven't read it in a long time, so I'm a little bit nervous. But yeah, let's crack on. So, I'm already cringing. Medicine is not a career to choose lightly or naively. That's very true, actually. However, I realise medicine is so much more than academic excellence. The opportunity to give back to the community and help others is something that has been rooted in me for a long time. It's really cringy, is the first thing I noticed, but I do find that you do have to it's all about selling yourself in these and showing how amazing you are, and that can be really hard if you're not naturally confident like I was. I have felt inspired by the personal accounts of people who have contributed to society, like doctors, nurses and teachers. This has fueled my desire to want to contribute to the greater good. So yeah, that was my first paragraph. I'd like to say that's quite cringy. I think the first paragraph should always be something quite broad-based. I guess kind of introducing your reasons for wanting to study medicine. Obviously, I've kind of mentioned here I want to give back to the community. It's something that I've been interested in a long time. I've been inspired by people. Critiquing myself looking back now, I'd say a lot of what I've mentioned here you could apply to loads of healthcare professionals, loads of different jobs in a variety of different areas. I'm not quite sure that's specific enough for medicine, but yeah, that was the first paragraph, short and sweet. Now I'm going to go properly into myself in the next bit. It was during my GCSEs I became fascinated by science. I found myself becoming deeply interested in the complexities of human anatomy, such as seeing the makeup of the uterus with its layered walls of muscles, and virology. Okay, so I think I definitely just decided that I was going to think of one anatomy-based thing that would help me, and apparently it was the walls of the uterus. So yeah. This continued into year 12 where my curiosity grew. I completed an extended project qualification on the ethics behind screening embryos. I enjoyed learning about how the embryo cells are removed and scanned for life-threatening illness such as sickle cell disease, and this sparked my interest in the ethics of medicine. But also the impact of a medical career can have on an individual's life. Combined with naturally compassionate and caring nature, I aspire to use my passion and enthusiasm for science to help others through my study of medicine. I actually quite like that. So, like I said on there, I did an EPQ. I'd highly recommend doing one if you have the time or feel like you can. I did that during year 12 and I actually found it really interesting, fun, but also it helped me get a reduced offer for medicine. So why wouldn't I? Win-win. And I really enjoyed it, and I've mentioned a few things there, like I enjoyed learning about things that obviously related to medicine. I've mentioned things like sickle cell disease and the ethics of medicine, which is obviously a very important topic, which I think can be overlooked when you're in sort of year 12, 13. So I think that's a really good point. I've talked about how it can impact on an individual's life, but from a personal level, not from a patient's, because it's true, it's just as much about helping ourselves as it is helping our patients. And then I aspire to use my passion and enthusiasm for science. That was very true. I loved biology, and it will help others through my study of medicine, which is, it's what I try to do now with patients, with others, and clearly that's what I was trying to convey. Being an enterprise ambassador at my school gave me a platform to help students with their post-schooling opportunities. As of this year, I was elected as Deputy Head Girl, where I will use my communication skills to understand issues students may have in the school and look to find the best solution whilst making positive changes. This role has greatly improved my ability to emphasise and listen to people as we work to find a solution. I think that's really good, again, because I've kind of mentioned about a role of responsibility that I had and the sort of things I'll be getting involved in about making positive changes, a really important point to be doing as a medical student and healthcare professional. This role has greatly improved my ability to emphasise and listen to people. Again, all key things that you're going to want as a future doctor. I think one of the most important things you can do in your personal statement is mention things you've done, give examples, give different traits that you have, all of which are relevant to a medical career. There's something I would have looked at now, well actually I have mentioned it afterwards, the quality essential in the medical profession. That's what I was going to say. You want to write something, a quality or a trait that you have, how you got it, so through volunteering, experiences that you've had, and then finishing off with how is it going to be relevant to your career as a doctor or your career as a medical student. I also began to lead a charitable work in school whereby I'm responsible for organising and distributing boxes of essentials to impoverished parts of the world. This was actually a really fun opportunity. It's kind of off topic to write in the statement, but I think sometimes you forget you can get involved in so much at your schools or at organisations that are actually really fun and enjoyable, but are going to be so beneficial for your personal statement, for your future as a doctor, and just for your personal character development. So for me, I remember running this, it was called Operation Christmas Child, and it was really fun. It was a really fun thing to be involved with, so don't forget about these things when writing your personal statement. During the month of July, I got the opportunity to spend a week on a shadowing placement in Northampton at General Hospital, which I was incredibly grateful for. It's so hard to get hospital work experience. I got mine as a bit of a fluke if you've seen my previous video. But yeah, I was very grateful, very privileged to be able to get that. It's not a necessity. That's one thing I would say. Hospital work experience is not a necessity. Do not worry if you've not got it. During my time, I was in areas of the hospital, including obstetrics, gynecology, oncology, and critical care. This was an eye-opening experience for me as I got to see a caesarean section and a hysterectomy. I've still not seen them on actual placement yet, as well as many other procedures. Personally, I was gripped by the interaction between patient and doctor and the relationship between them. Something I still really love now and I'm very passionate about, and I think it's very important in your personal statements to mention things like communication, patient-doctor communication, doctor communication with the MDT. I think all these things can be really important because they are overlooked. I think we can rush into looking at talking about our science and our intellect and everything that's very educational based, that we forget about all the other really important skills that you need as a doctor. So mentioning how you've managed to get skills as communication, empathy, determination, resilience, and seeing that in practice, there's a way for you to see that in practice. Now, it doesn't have to be an actual in a healthcare environment. It could be at your part-time job. It could be seeing your manager interact with your peers. It could be at school, seeing if you're part of a school council, how you interact. Mentioning things like that are just as important as mentioning all of your academic abilities as well. Personally, I was gripped by the interaction between patient and doctor and the relationship between them. It was enlightening for me to work in the sadder aspects of medical career, such as critical care unit. Working in this area showed me that medicine can be emotionally challenging, but also how significant the role of a doctor is in potentially saving a life. Now, I think this is something else that maybe I've not worded exactly how I probably would have now, but it's something that I think is really important, and I always encourage people when writing their personal statements to make sure they're talking about the negatives in medicine. Make sure that they're aware and that they're expressing that they're aware that medicine, there are going to be a lot of difficulties in this career, there are going to be a lot of challenges that you face, and ultimately how you may overcome them in the future. And just having a sense of awareness can be really good in showing your medical schools that you properly researched into this. You've not just seen all of the positives, you're not just thinking it's going to be a walk in the park, you've seen that there can be a lot of difficult areas that you're going to have to go through. So I always say just try and mention something that you may have seen or that you may have read about that isn't 100% medicine positive, and just mention that to show that you've looked at all the different areas of medicine and it's still something you want to do. Much of my personal development has come from medical journals such as the BMJ. Reading on PGD during my extended project qualification gave me insight on how PGD increases IVF successes. Oh, that makes me cringe. I looked at the BMJ a couple of times. I had no clue what it was talking about. I really tried my best, okay, but but obviously I've put it in there because I did read the BMJ, but even now I don't know half the words they're saying, so 17-year-old me, I don't know what she was doing. Reading on PGD I obviously actually did do for my EPQ, so that makes a lot more sense. And also my part-time job working at a coffee shop. Now, you know what? People forget about things like this. And I always say, again, this is why don't worry if you can't get hospital work experience. My part-time job was one of the most mentioned things in my interviews. It was one of the things that my interviewers were so interested in because I could really utilise it and say I learned all these traits such as time management, working under pressure, communication, following instruction, working as a team. All of these traits that I learned from my coffee shop job, which I could then take into medical school and develop and enhance towards a medical career. So can you see where I'm going with this? So please don't worry if you can't get medical work experience, because there are so many other opportunities that you can relate to medicine that can improve your ability to succeed in this area. So please don't worry if you don't get medical work experience. And if you've got a part-time job, please do mention it in all the traits and qualities that you develop during that time. Also, in my spare time over the holidays, I spent 4 hours a week volunteering with young children in my local library. I absolutely loved it. It was really cute. A lot of the time I was either organising books, working with children. I just did it during the summer holidays. I wanted something to write on my personal statement, and I didn't want to be stressing about having to focus on schooling and volunteering at the same time. During my time, I helped children get involved in the summer reading, whilst also keeping the library maintained and organised. I used the skills I'd developed from being a peer mentor in my school to a younger Year 7 student to help resolve their issues and worries and work with them to improve their reading. It's just a little nugget of extra that I've put in there, I suppose. So yeah, I think what's really important when you're writing for your personal statement, write a list of everything you've done. There's nothing too small. There's nothing too obscure. Like, write it all down and narrow it down to see what's relevant and work from there. As well as this, I spend each week volunteering at a Headway Centre. I loved my time here. A day service for people with brain injuries. Talking to the service users and helping them with activities such as art and crafts was a great opportunity for personal development, as I learnt how to manage difficult situations such as an argumentative user or inappropriate comments with calmness and patience. Again, I've mentioned the positives that I got from this experience and also the negatives. When I mentioned the negatives, I also talked about how I developed as a person to have the best response to these negatives and how it helped me grow. Perfect way to talk about negatives in your personal statement whilst also showing your own character development. It also helped me learn more about the people I could potentially help in the industry and the troubles they face in their day-to-day life. Again, for me, and it's still something I'm very, very passionate about now, is that the social aspects of medicine and the holistic areas of medicine, as much as it's so important for us as doctors to be able to treat or help a patient with their medical conditions, it is so important to think about how that's affecting their everyday life. I always say to future medical students or medical students like me that worry a little bit about being good enough, a patient will not remember that you prescribed 300 milligrams of an obscure drug that they can't pronounce, but what they will remember is the smile on your face. They will remember the calming tone that you talk to them. They will remember that you took that time to really care about them and their life when they leave the hospital. These are all the important things that get overlooked, that you as a student before medical school will have amples of experiences that you might not even think are relevant, but trust me, they are, and they will be brilliant for your personal statement. I realised that embarking on this career will be challenging, tough, and require grit and determination to see it through. Very true, all of that, but again, I've mentioned there, I know that it's not all positive. I know that it's not going to be an easy ride, with possible hurdles that could be faced along the way. That said, I feel I've started to build the resilience and emotional skills to tackle a life-changing opportunity like this head on and to thrive in a challenging environment. The personal statement is cheesy, guys. I don't know what else to say. It is cheesy. It's just one of those things, you know. You have to be cheesy. You're having to say how amazing you are, and that in itself is cheesy, and it can be hard if you've not got a lot of self-confidence, but I promise you, the more you write it, and even when you read over it, you'll feel proud of yourself because everything you're writing is true. I finished it off with, I am determined to put my all into this, to work hard to realise my potential, still trying on that part, and give back to what I truly believe would be an immensely rewarding and exciting career. I think that's a nice way to end it. I think now, with more knowledge and experience, I'd probably be able to write it a bit better. There's definitely things I'd improve on reading that, but I'm quite happy with it, and obviously the university saw something in it. I think it's very important to know that there is no 100% perfect personal statement. It really is. Every single person's personal statement is going to be different. Everyone's got different experiences that have led them to this point of applying to medicine. There will be different, like being a WP student or having a private education, or so many different things that will lead to different personal statements, and that's okay. That's brilliant. That is what medicine is all about. It's about bringing people from all different areas of life and having doctors represent the community that we serve. And I'm kind of going off now because I was talking about personal statements. That's the whole point of this video. But I just want you to know that there will be so much that you might not have thought about that will be relevant to your personal statement. And not having hospital work experience, not having clinical work experience, not having private tutors, none of that is going to affect this amazing personal statement that you can put together with all of your attributes and all of your qualities. So please don't worry about it. Take your time. You've got loads of time to get it done. I know it feels short, but you have got time. And just take it slow and steady. Write lists of all the things that you've done, all of your experiences, write all of your qualities, write how they're all relevant to medicine, write the negatives of medicine, write how you've had experiences and qualities to overcome these negatives in medicine, and you will be absolutely fine. So please, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And it feels really weird saying this, but please like, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can also follow my Instagram at wellnessmedic and TikTok at wellnessmedic, and you know, all that fun stuff. And I hope you have a really great day.